Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Where is everyone watching from? This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. We dropped a surprise episode late last night with our friends over at Bravo We're Black. So make sure you take a listen to that. We're calling that the ultimate Bravo takeover because we talked about everything Bravo, even talked a little bit about Below Deck. So be sure to check out that 2-hour conversation with our friends over at Bravo We're Black. That's exclusively right now on the Kempire podcast. So listen to that after today's live. Don't forget, we will be live again at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. PST for our Married to Medicine recap as well. Shout out to everyone watching in the live chat. New York City, Dina's watching from Venus. Must be nice. England is in the house. Philly's in the house. Detroit's in the house. Texas, we don't hold no. Oh, sorry. Denmark's in the house. What's going on, everyone? Georgia's in the house. Atlanta, Toronto's in the house. Sacramento's in the house. Chicago, it's freezing there. I'm sure it's a very windy day here in New York City. New Jersey's in the house. What's going on? Boston, shout out to all the teachers in Boston. Willingboro is here in the building. Jacksonville, Dallas, Texas. What's going on, everyone? Maryland's in the building, of course. Shout out to the DMV. Houston's in the building. Boston's in the building. California, New York City, Mexico, Ohio. Queens is in the building. North Carolina's in the building. South Africa's in the building. Orlando, Alabama, Sweden. Fantastic. Shout out to everyone here. Today's live recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion is sponsored by our friends over at Factor Meals. Look, you know, on a busy day like Mondays where I have 2 live recaps that span like almost 3-4 hours, but I enjoy it. I enjoy talking about these different hot topics and reality TV shows with you guys. On a day like today, I need a Factor meal. Factor meal is chef approved, dietitian approved, great quality, and they have a whole assortment of types and styles for you, from calorie smart to keto. Okay. And of course, we love partnering with them. This is like our 10th, 100th time partnering with our friends over at Factor Meals. Ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Look, I know you probably have had your New Year's resolution. It's never too late. It's just February. Okay. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. There we go. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Here's the thing. You can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with the Factor Keto meals based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto. Results will vary depending on diet and exercise. Keep us posted if you've given this a try as well. Of course, eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code factorpodcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code factorpodcast at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Shout out to Factor Meals for sponsoring today's live recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Guys, if you had to rate the part 1 of the Potomac reunion from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? And what did you guys think about it? I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was interesting. Of course, they had to address the big elephant in the room, and that is Karen Huger. Karen Huger, we already knew, was not at the reunion, but they start off the reunion with Karen speaking with producers after she was convicted of the five out of the six charges that she was facing. And that was on December 20th. They did this interview with her. So I took a couple of notes from the interview. Okay. Sidebar: did they use my voice in that little trailer when they were talking about all the people reporting on it? I heard my voice. Did anyone else hear my voice? I definitely heard my voice. I was like, wait a minute. I mean, look, they didn't have to get approval to use your voice and things like that. I mean, normally they do reach out, but it's okay. But I heard my voice. I was like, wait a minute. That sounds like me. It wouldn't be the first time I've been featured on one of these shows. Okay. So then they show clips of the body cam footage. I wasn't sure, out of respect for Karen, if they would use any of the body cam footage, but it was everywhere. So I don't blame them for using it. We all looked at it. We all were like, it was cringy. So they show so many different moments from the body cam footage as they're talking to her. And Karen says that she doesn't care about anyone else right now. She only really cares about her family. She says they are so hurt. Here's the thing, Karen. Were you not thinking about your family before you paraded them on this season, making them make excuses for you, and then to try and shame all of us for holding you accountable? Were you thinking about them then, even though you knew this body cam footage existed? You just thought that we would never see it. You definitely saw it in preparation for this trial, and you still went to trial. But okay. Now, she's like, my family is so hurt. At this time, this was December 20th, she's doing this interview. Okay? She says, they ask her if she's an alcoholic. She says, no, I am not an alcoholic. Let's be clear. Look, remember, this is December 20th. She ended up going to rehab, maybe like a week later, a little bit less than a week later, according to the timestamps of what they're showing. So she says at this particular time that she doesn't have a problem with, she's not an alcoholic. Let's be clear. That's what she says. And then she says, I have a message, because she has the Ladams, the people that follow her. And she says, she has young people that follow her. She's like, do as I say, not as I do. What?
What is this, honey?
Look, we have parents that probably feel that way, but they've never really said it. Has your parent ever said, do as I say, not as I do? I'm sure you probably have. But in this particular moment, I'm like, no, Karen, it doesn't work that way. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. Still taking no accountability in this particular part, okay? And of course, she looks pitiful in it. I think that was intentional. She looked pitiful. I think she was even wearing the wig that she got arrested in. Okay. So she ends that video, that portion of the video, the first of two videos that she shared at this reunion. Do as I say, not as I do. 7 says, that's called hypocrisy. That's called Karen. Both. She's been hypocritical. She's been hypocritical since we met her, but she's been even more hypocritical this season. All right. So, reunion day. We see everyone arrive. Stacey and Ashley are backstage talking, and they're like, is Karen coming? I didn't see her name tag anywhere. And they're like, is she not coming? We then see Wendy and Kiarna. They're like, is Karen coming? So Wendy and Kiarna says, let's call her. So I'm not sure whose phone, because I saw Wendy holding the phone, but I know Wendy said call her. So I wasn't sure if they used Kiarna's phone or not. And the reason why I'm asking that is you know why. Because Wendy and Karen's relationship is a big topic of the first part of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. So they end up calling Karen, but Karen doesn't pick up. And Wendy is annoyed. She's like, that's a slap in our face. The least she could do is answer the phone. This is before Wendy knows that Karen has gone into a rehabilitation facility, or as, let me see, what do they say? What do they refer to it as? A private recovery center. I mean, same thing, right? I guess that we know of. Okay. So we see that before the women come out during, for the reunion. So we see them getting prepared backstage, and everyone's wondering, where is Karen? Where is Karen? So the women come out, and you know what we love to do, because we recapped the reunion looks, but we only recapped photos. We didn't recap them in motion. And for a lot of times that will kind of change how we feel or make us love the dress even more. I have to say, it really didn't change how I felt about any of the women's reunion looks. We finally got to see Mia's reunion look, because she never had an official photo, but I told you I had that exclusive along with the Stacey T, that Mia ends up leaving the reunion early. And based off of part one, it seems as if that reunion tee that I shared with you was 100%. But based off of looking at Mia's outfit, it looked cheap. I didn't love for me, it was probably my least favorite of all of the looks. And that's saying a lot, because Ashley's there.
What is this, honey?
Okay. Gizelle looked really great. When she came in, Andy was like, "Oh my God, you look really beautiful." Like he was surprised. No, if you go back and look at some of the early years with Gizelle and her reunion looks, she had some nice reunion looks too. It's just recent years, not so great. But this one definitely looked good, and it looked good in person as well. Okay. Let me see. Let me remind myself of some of the reunion. Stacey looked gorgeous. I loved Stacey's reunion look. Stacey looked really, really good. Jazzy looked really, really good too. We'll get to Jazzy in a second. I will still say though, Wendy is definitely one of my favorites. I love her hair. I love this short bob on her. I think she looks amazing. Mia still looks cheap. Sorry, Mia, but not really. Ashley looks okay. I don't like this hair on Ashley. I don't like Kiana's hair. I don't like how Kiana's dress is like suffocating her breasts. I didn't love that. I think they could have, it's a little ill-fitted. I think if they loosened it up a bit, this would have been gorgeous on her. I don't really love her hair, but I get it's supposed to be a look of the time. But as you can see here, Ashley being so messy, as if she knew that Karen might not come, she brought a photo of Karen. And so they talk about the photo of Karen, and they're like, well, Karen wouldn't want to sit here. She would want to sit next to Andy. And Ashley was like, no, that's my photo. Bring it over here. She doesn't want Karen to have that. She doesn't want to have that. Okay. Anyways, let me get back in order in regards to this. So Andy reveals that Karen checked herself into a private recovery center. Gizelle says that Karen lives in a world of delusion, but she's at this particular time, what we've been saying, it's too serious. We've said this. We know Karen has lied throughout the years. We know that. We know that Karen has been inconsistent when she talks about her marriage, blue eyes, things like that. We knew that. But this was a situation where we couldn't just gloss over it and make it a joke, because it's not a joke. All right. So she says she wishes that Karen had done it before the case, which we all do. We've been saying that this in the entire season. Karen knew that this body cam footage was there. It was going to be presented in court as evidence against her. That's why she wanted to get it kicked out of court, which was denied. So Wendy brings up a good point. She says she wonders whether Karen is doing rehab because she needs actual help, or she knows that she needs actual help, or is it because of her sentencing that was coming up. Stacey's like, well, guys, let's give her grace. And I get where Stacey was coming from, but I also get where Wendy's coming from. She's like, don't frame it like that. I've given her grace, but you also need a friend that's going to hold your friend accountable. So Wendy's bringing up a very valid point. Wendy, for me, was like the Yoda of the reunion, but she's been the Yoda of the season, to be honest with you, because she's been the one bringing up valid points when people are delusional. Okay. So she says, I wonder if she really, and to me, that's her being a concerned friend. I wonder if Karen actually decided to get help because she needs help, or is she doing this to look good? And everyone was like, well, If that was me, I would do it if it's gonna lessen my sentence. Andy agreed, Gizelle agreed, and Wendy says, I'm not gonna hate the game. I get it if that's what she did. But I as a friend, though, if that's what she's doing, I also want to know that my friend actually wants to get help. I don't want my friend to just do this so that she could lessen her sentence, and then my friend is back in the situation again. So I get where Wendy was coming from in regards to that. Okay. So that's when Ashley pulls out the picture of Karen. Okay. And yeah, they said that Karen would be there in spirit. Okay. Anyways, Karen should still sit right next to Andy. If Karen was at the reunion, we know where she would be sitting. Okay, Ashley, messy Ashley. Ashley is so damn messy. So she's always producing. She even produced that Miami Mia birthday trip situation. Jazzy, before you go, can we talk about the Miami thing? She is so don't trust Ashley. I mean, I appreciate it for us, but don't trust Ashley. A mess. All right, let me focus. So before we even get into the reunion, Andy reveals that Karen has sent a message. So Karen finally gets her hair and makeup done, puts on a nice sweater dress, sits down with great lighting for a message for everyone, revealing that she's going into this treatment center for her addiction to antidepressants and drinking. Okay. Karen decides to thank a few people that have meant the world to her during this time. Okay. The first person she thanks is Gizelle. But wait, did you pay attention? Remember, I'm also recapping. My notes are based off of the uncensored version. So I don't know if they added anything that wasn't in the live version on Bravo. But just in case we're like, I didn't see that. Okay. So Karen thanks Gizelle first. In this moment, pay attention to the cameras. Gizelle looks surprised, but so does Dr. Wendy Estefo. I think Dr. Wendy Estefo was smiling, and then it immediately changed because I think she thought that Karen would thank her first. Did anyone notice that? I noticed it in the rewatch. I was like, wait. I was like, oh. I don't know about you. After I was watching this video, I really thought that Karen was going to mention Dr. Wendy Estefo. I was like, okay, so the last one's going to be Dr. Wendy. And I know all of us know this. Karen did that intentionally. I don't know if she did that for a future storyline. I don't know if she just wanted to do that as another blow at Dr. Wendy. I don't know. But Karen thanked everybody under the sun except Dr. Wendy. All right. So she thanks Gizelle first. Gizelle gets emotional because Gizelle must have sent her flowers, and in the note said, one day at a time. I do think that Gizelle has a heart. If we see Gizelle with her children, that is a huge indication of who she is. Okay. But I also see another side of Gizelle, that even what they want to paint as different this season, she showed us who she really is. I'm not going to let my guard down with Gizelle. Y'all can. But I'm a strong believer when people show you who they really are the first time, believe them. So she can paint the narrative of what she wants to paint along with the network and Andy Cohen and all production. I'm not falling for it. You showed us your hand already. Your mask has fallen. This new mask, far prettier, but I know who I'm dealing with. Y'all can deal with her the way you want. You're like, Gizelle was funny. I love her. That's fine. I know who I'm dealing with. And that's all that matters to me. That's how I conduct my life. Some of y'all love certain people that I might not love or break bread with. Not gonna be me. Just saying. Anyways, so Gizelle gets a little emotional. And I do believe that there is a friendship between Gizelle and Karen. They started this show together. And according to Gizelle, it's like, when people ask me about Karen, I was like, Karen is so much fun when not on the show. When she's not playing a character on the show. Off the show, she's a lot of fun. She's a really great person. I was like, all right. Then Karen goes on to thank Kiarna and Jazzy. Mind you, Jazzy's not even out here yet. Okay. She thanks Jazzy, and she's like, I know Candace is not on the show, but Candace reached out to me, and she's been a soldier for me. Again, I felt like that was a jab at Dr. Wendy Asefo. So Andy, then, okay, so just when we think, just because I don't know if you waited with bated breath, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be Dr. Wendy. Okay, this is going to be Dr. Wendy. And I'd like to thank a special person, Andy Cohen. Because even if you look at Dr. Wendy's face, I think Dr. Wendy thought that was going to be her moment. I think we all thought that was going to be Dr. Wendy's moment. And we always, and I just like to thank Andy Cohen.
What is this, honey?
What? What is going on right now? It's like, okay. So Andy first asked Gizelle, because Gizelle was emotional. And she's like, I don't deal well with crying and things like that. And he's like, why are you so emotional? And she's like, because that's really my friend. And it seems as if she's really going to act. She's finally letting the mask fall and getting the help that she might need. Okay. So Andy says to Wendy, you seem, I forgot the word he used, but he was just like, you seem, like how do you feel about this? Well, Mia is the one to bring up, I'm surprised she didn't thank you, because you have been there for her throughout this season. Okay. So I thought that was sidebar. Karen in the video, she's like, nobody's sit in my seat. Oh, the other thing that she says in the video that I wanted to point out was that, when she returns, she'll be returning just as Karen, not the Grande Dame, which I thought was important to say, because that has sort of been her persona. And it felt like that's all, we saw all of that in the body cam footage. And we were like, this woman is delusional and an elitist. You're poor and you're white. That's what she said. Okay. And that she's Thomas Jefferson's concubine. It would have been interesting, though, to see Karen address this at the reunion, but I much rather her actually getting help than parading in front of us to answer questions. Like, she doesn't need to be accountable to us. She needs to be accountable to herself and her family. So Karen says, no one sit in my seat. Gizelle, emotional. Andy wants to understand Dr. Wendy's reaction. And Dr. Wendy is like, after what Stacey told her, okay, sidebar, Gizelle also said, in regards to reacting to Karen and what's been going on with Karen, she says she's heard a lot of things about Karen being in very dangerous situations. So she's just happy that she's getting the help that she needs. So Wendy says, based on what she's seen throughout the season, based on what Stacey said to her about what Karen said about her, and seeing that video, one thing I'm going to give Wendy is credit, because Andy asked her, how does this make you feel that she didn't thank you and whatever? And Karen's like, Wendy's just like, she's so self-aware, and I can appreciate that, because she's like, this is not about me. This shouldn't be about me. It shouldn't be about her thanking me. But based off of everything that she's heard this season and watched this season and heard from Stacey, she's like, that's not my friend. That's not. And Gizelle, during the season, at this reunion, has said, I've warned you, Wendy. I've told you many times that Karen was saying things about you. And she's like, I couldn't trust you. Yeah. And I think she had to see it for herself. And I agree with Wendy. She was just like, I have to take people for what they are in front of me. You can't base it off of what everyone else is trying to tell you. Because trust and believe, and I've seen this too, people will try and get into other people's ear about who you are as a person. People have said things about me about other people. I'm like, well, you know what? That hasn't been my experience. I'm going to wait till that is my experience before I judge them that way. Because sometimes people just say things to get in your ear because maybe they had a falling out with that other person. So I can respect that of Dr. Wendy. Just like that has not been my experience. Also, Karen was there for me when everyone was going up against my mother. She was the only one there. Some might say Karen was only there for Wendy because Wendy was on the outs with Gizelle. Very possible. Very possible. But clearly, it's different. Here's the thing. If Karen was talking all this smack about Wendy, like the first season, I could understand. I would have believed that. But the fact that she was still talking smack about Wendy to Stacey this season, it's like, so at no point were you really ever Wendy's friend. Because we understood. The first season, they didn't get along. They didn't see it for each other. So this entire time, how many seasons Wendy's been on this? And you've been talking smack about her? Only for us to find out that Karen also told some stuff to Wendy about Stacey before Stacey started. She's like, well, we have another beautiful, smart, intelligent, educated woman going to be on the show as well. Gizelle seems shocked by that. Smart, intelligent, educated? She's like, is Stacey educated? Stacey was just like, excuse me? Mind you, I literally just watched the footage where Gizelle was reading. Remember when Gizelle had to read and she could barely read and Monique was like, this girl. So Gizelle, you are the last person to ask if someone is educated. Yes, we know you went to college. I believe Stacey also went to college. But come on now. I don't know why she keeps taking digs at Stacey. It's so interesting. Honestly, at this particular point, you should be taking digs at Stacey because you should be worried. Because Stacey has come in as a very likable person this season. I know it's going to fall apart for her during this reunion, allegedly, according to sources. But I still like her. I still like her lying self.
Shut up! That is so stupid.
I still like her lying self, okay? Isn't me. Exactly. Jan says, I was so confused about why Gizelle questioned Stacey's intelligence. Like, is there some beef there? And you remember, even before the season started airing, she was taking jabs at her in interviews. It was weird. It was definitely weird. But I told you that is who Gizelle is. That is the real Gizelle, not the Gizelle that they're trying to paint. That is the Gizelle. Let's not forget the things that have happened. Kisco says, bring the Aries back. We need some fire in regards to Stacey. Stacey's an Aries. Stacey definitely has it in her. We've seen it a few times during the season. I hope Stacey comes in next season just continuing to be herself, but with a lot more truth of what's going on in her relationships and things like that. I don't know if Bravo or production made her feel like she had to have some man by her side. Honestly, I could care less about it. If anything, that took away from her story for us. I'd much rather see Stacey be herself, co-parent, all of that. Anyways, I digress. So Andy reacts to being mentioned in the body cam footage because you remember she says that Andy Cohen is the one who gave her the Grande Dame title when it really wasn't. So, but remember, she was drunk. So they move on to Wendy's, segment where they talk about Wendy celebrating, her year and da 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 da. And then they talk about Wendy and Gizelle's relationship being in a better place this season. One thing I can appreciate about Dr. Wendy this season, she didn't lean into making it seem as if it was all good with Gizelle. She's like, you know what? If we have to get along for this reality show, I'm going to try. But we're going to have a real conversation. And apparently they had a 2-hour conversation. She tweeted about this, saying that she brought up everything. However, production and the network decided to show just Gizelle's side, really. And again, I felt like that was disgusting. It just showed us where the favoritism is. because based off of that little discussion that we saw, and then we're not going to see a 2-hour conversation, but there were some valid things that Dr. Wendy brought up that they didn't even show. And the fact that Gizelle wanted to start off that conversation like, I don't want to talk about any isms, colorism, said everything that I needed to know. Said everything that I needed to know about Gizelle. We're not going to talk about any isms. What she mean? What isms? You know what she meant. But again, I appreciate that Dr. Wendy didn't necessarily just fall in line. She still had her opinions about Gizelle. She pointed out during the reunion, she's like, we're getting there. And when they referred to as Wendy and Gizelle being besties, she was like, who's my bestie? Did you guys pay attention to that? One thing I can appreciate is that Dr. Wendy did not just order like a lap dog. And I know some people have said that that's how she was when she first came on. But at least when it comes this season, she wasn't trying to be like, oh, Gizelle, I love you. No matter how they wanted to paint it this season. So, fine. They're in a better place. I'm better with them being in a better place. Because the toxicity of this show was getting too much and hard to watch and hard to recap. Okay? But how long will that last? Just saying. Especially if it's not genuine on both sides. So then they talk about Happy Eddie, the cannabis line. And apparently Stacey really liked Happy Eddie. So Gizelle, being Gizelle, I heard that don't be surprised if you see a Happy Stacey coming out next year. And Stacey seems thoroughly confused. She's like, what? Gizelle says, I spoke to someone that spoke to you that you were trying to work on your own line. And you told them, they were like, why would I work with you? And you're like, because I'm famous. And Stacey seems thoroughly confused. Stacey, I believe Gizelle. I believe Gizelle. Here's the thing. Stacey, if that was the truth, you could just say it. Just own it. I don't like the fact that you just kind of looked guilty. You didn't look like that is not the truth. You looked like you look very pageantry. What? 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 Because look, you can have there's plenty of people that have a cannabis line. Okay? So I don't understand why it would be a bad thing. Wendy's like, well, I hope that's not true, Stacey. I hope you would tell me. First of all, I don't know if she could tell her. I don't know how that works. I don't know where she is in regards to building whatever business it's going to be. But I don't see a problem with Stacey having a business. There are plenty of people in that line of business. But I just kind of wish that Stacey would have been like, well, I'm in talks to do something. Because I wonder what Wendy's reaction would be. Because then Andy brings up the whole candle fiasco when Karen was doing a candle thing. There's plenty of room for everyone in that business, in every business. But Stacey's reaction gave caught. But of course, we have Gizelle stirring the pot. Apparently, Gizelle was talking to somebody, and Stacey said, here we go. I got caught. Antoinette says that Stacey does hide the truth. Nubian says guilty as charged. So we all believe that Stacey is working on her own line. Stacey, just don't even bother. Don't even bother. Unless you want that to be your storyline next season, and you and Wendy will have at it. Look, guys, we're almost at 500 likes, but we have over 2,000 people here watching our Real Housewives of Potomac reunion recap. Be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We have quite a few super chats. Thank you so much, Keith Talks, for the super chat. We appreciate you. Thank you for another super chat. Can't answer the phone when you're hungover. Oh, damn, y'all are brutal already. It's President's Day. It's Black History Month. Happy Black History Month, everyone. Angie, thank you so much for the super chat. Angie says Karen was unlikable in both of her videos. It didn't feel honest. Agreed. Like she didn't learn anything. Delon, thank you so much for the super chat. Delon says, my hands are clean of Karen, Jefferson, and Huger. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Doreen, thank you so much for the super chat. Doreen says Karen's delusion were on full display in that recorded video, and she won't truly learn her lesson until Bravo stops encouraging it, and that she goes to jail. Yeah, I mean the person who sent in the question or the comment about her that she should go to jail, they all seemed like, oh, well, she showed no accountability. This allegedly might be her third or fourth DUI. Yeah, maybe she needs to have actual repercussions. Maybe she needs a season off. Sharon, thank you so much for the super chat. Sharon says, if Karen had such a problem with Wendy, you'd never have known it. She was smiling and kikiing all in her face and accepting trips to the White House. Well, they talk about that. Does she regret inviting Karen? And I'm glad that Dr. Wendy says, I do regret inviting that woman. She didn't say it like that, but I appreciated that she was honest. I understand. Who would she invited at? Oh, I guess she probably would have invited maybe Kiarna or someone. So Keith talked, and mind you, she had such a well thought out reason for inviting Karen, because she's like, Karen bought back the plantation that her family were slaves on. So, the White House was built by slaves. So I think it's kismet to bring Karen. Like, she thought about that. That's the kind of friend that Dr. Wendy is. Keith talks, thank you so much for the super chat. Rehab can only help you if you want to get help. The first step is to admit you're an addict. If she don't think she's an addict, rehab won't help. Well, remember, at the time of the first video, she said she was an alcoholic. The second video, I don't know if she came to the conclusion that she was or finally admitted it. I don't know. Or we just don't know what her true intentions were. Cece, thank you so much for the super chat. Cece says, but Kempire, that would be valid if Wendy couldn't watch the same show we've been watching. Like day one, Karen made it clear she doesn't like her. But again, we thought that maybe she got through. Sometimes friendships grow. I thought their friendship grew. Apparently not. She was still talking all kinds of mess about her behind the scenes to everyone. Keith, thank you so much for another super chat. Keith says, Karen only became friends with Dr. Wendy so that she wouldn't be lumped in as a colorist with Gizelle and Robin. That's what a lot of people are saying too. But then you watch that video, the body cam footage, and you're like, I think we may have had it wrong. Erica, thank you so much for the super chat. Erica says, remember, there was a never seen sit down with Wendy and Karen. We talked about that last week. I think Wendy believing Stacey and ripping up her soldier papers is what put her on ice. Yeah, so there was that conversation between them that we never saw. However, Wendy seemed confused because she says that she did reach out to Karen, and I believe her. I don't know when she reached out to Karen. Was it after the conviction? Was it during the holiday? We don't know. But she says she did reach out to Karen. She still was there for Karen. All right. So Wendy addresses her requirement, because you remember we talked about this during the season, her requirement of her kids that they get master's degrees. So a lot of people are like, Wendy, how is this different than what you were fighting against in your own family? How is this sort of like breaking that cycle? Well, she explains her trust. She says, well, if they get master's degrees, they'll get a bonus. If they learn our language, they'll get a bonus. If my daughter becomes an AKA, they'll get a bonus. I don't know about y'all, but I still was sort of like, so how does that answer the question? The fact that they get a bonus or maybe because you didn't get bonuses for doing the things that you ended up doing. So I guess it's not necessarily a requirement. It's only if they want to get the bonus. I guess that's what makes it different. If they don't want the bonus, they they can do whatever they want. But the incentive is still very cultural. It's still very like, no, get that master's, learn the language. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. it's not going to hurt your kids getting more education. But at the same time, I feel like it's still not that different. It's still rooted in what you grew up in. And I get it. That's how you grew up. Okay. But I still feel like there really isn't much of a difference. It's still rooted in what you were fighting against as someone that was still trying to find yourself. But I get it. There are bonuses to the trust. I just love the fact that she's got a trust set up for her kids, whatever. Look, do you have a trust set up for your kids? They're trust fund babies right there, okay? Anyways, I wonder how much money they would get. She didn't get into those details. All right. So Wendy does talk about regretting inviting Karen to the White House. We talked about that already. Kay brings up that she doesn't like the fact that Stacey brought up what Karen said about Wendy because they had a falling out. And a lot of you said that. I don't know if I would want to be friends with someone like Stacey because the minute we fall out, you turn on me and you're spilling all the tea. So Stacey explains why she did what she did. And Wendy says that Karen, she doesn't even blame Stacey for that. But Wendy says that Karen warned her about Stacey being smart and educated, and that's when Gizelle chimes in. Is she? Is she educated? And even Stacey is confused. She's like, huh? And Stacey's like, I don't understand why Karen wouldn't want two smart and educated women to, to become friends or to get to know each other. And Giselle's like, I don't think it was anything about that. I don't get Giselle's beef with Stacey. I mean, I'm pretty sure she probably really hates the fact that Stacey has become a fan favorite. And if you came to our DC show, everybody was loving up on Stacey. They love her. They love her being a part of the show. They felt like she was a breath of fresh air, or a fresh of breath air, Teresa. So I think that might be crawling up Giselle's you-know-what. Okay? Anyways. But this is when they talk about Karen having a history of, quote, grooming. They use that word. Grooming the newbies. So they talk about that. And Giselle's like, I've told Wendy. But Wendy's like, I couldn't take that from you. We weren't in a good place for me to listen to you about that. And they talk about the places that Karen likes to take the people. The restaurant that Karen loves to go. She took Stacey there. She never took Kiarna there. Kiarna defends Karen again. And she's like, well, personally, Karen took care of me during that incident from last season, and she was really there for me. Wendy has to check her friend. She's like, I say this with love, but Karen likes being the mother goose. She likes you until you don't need her necessarily in this group. And I was like, okay, here go Yoda, Dr. Wendy again. And I was like, yes, she's clocking it. Yeah. She's clocking. She's like, that's Karen's MO. Until you don't, and remember, Dr. Wendy and Candace needed Karen because the other women were isolating them out of the group. So Karen likes that. She likes to be the martyr. We were talking about that on Love and Marriage Huntsville with Ken. She likes to be the martyr. She likes to be the mother. Okay. But Kiarna, but I get it. I get why Kiarna feels that way. You were in a very dark situation, and Karen really showed up for you. I understand. Do you blame Kiarna for feeling that way about Karen? I don't blame her, especially because right now Karen hasn't betrayed Kiarna that we know of. Now I would want to know. Candace says I'm about to go to Tally Ho, the restaurant. I wonder if the food's good. I should have went when I was in DC. Next time. Okay. All right. Bria says, did y'all see Karen on the previews for the new soap opera on CBS? Yeah, that's coming out at the end of the month. The new all black soap opera that's going to be on CBS. Happy Black History Month. Anyways, so Wendy calls that out. And Wendy also says this, which I thought to be interesting. She says, that it takes a very strong person to be friends with her because she's so sure of herself. I like that, but at the same time, I was like, Dr. Wendy, are you that sure of yourself? Because one of the things of your storyline one of the big points of your storyline is that you're not sure of yourself. That's why you've been trying all these different jobs and things like that. I definitely noticed the confidence this season, and I appreciate that, and I love that for you. But when you said that, I was like, well, and again, a lot of the times the people that are the most boastful and the most conceited are usually the most insecure people. And we've definitely seen her insecurity, which there's nothing wrong with being insecure. I think people need to own being insecure because that is your strength, is understanding that we all have insecurities. But I appreciate what she's like, it takes a lot. It takes a very strong person. And she's like, she believes that Karen says that she's self-absorbed. Everyone in the group, including Andy, were like, yeah, we're all self-absorbed. And she was like, it takes a very strong person to be friends with her because she's so sure of herself. And I was like, I don't think you're 100% sure of yourself. Maybe you're there now, but one of the reasons why you've had the storyline that you've had about doing all these different things, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's because you're not sure of yourself. But I definitely saw a level up with Dr. Wendy this season in regards to being more secure and more sure of herself. Anyways, Jazzy. So Jazzy ends up coming out. Jazzy looks great. Skin looks great. Hair looks great. Love her dress. Fantastic. Jazzy comes out. And of course, they ask her about her wedding. Why did Jazzy bring her wedding invite? Although the wedding invite looked luxurious and beautiful, why did she bring her wedding invite to the reunion?
What is this, honey?
Why did she bring her wedding invite to the reunion? One thing I have to say that I noticed with Jazzy, she sees Andy Cohen. She's like, hi. And I'm just like, okay. She seems a little thirsty. And I like Jazzy. Remember at the beginning before we had the Mia math with her relationship? I was like, no, I like Jazzy. I like how she's showing up. And I still want to see Jazzy again. She's still really good friends with Stacey. But I just feel like she was being a little too performative, like she was at a job interview. You know what I mean? I was like, why? Okay. Why did she bring her invitation? Invitation looked great, but why are we? Is this to kind of let them know if y'all want to film it? We can film it. Okay. So she wants to have a summer wedding. Fine. We find out that Darius, we already knew this. Darius is playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Megan, someone who writes in, refers to Jazzy as the side chick. And then she's like, Mia, since you have a history of being a side chick, what is your perspective? What is your Megan? Shout out to Megan. That was a fantastic question. So Jazzy says that she could never be a side chick. And nothing about her gives side chick. Except the timeline of your relationship. Jazzy, come on. And then she says, I'd be Andy Cohen's side chick, so you'd be side chick for depending on how much the person has? This is where you lose me, Jazzy. And this is where she lost us during the season. I thought by weeks later, months later, that Jazzy would finally get her response for this moment together, but she didn't. It was like, Jazzy, no. She's like, nothing about me gives side chick. The timeline of your situation gives side chick, Jazzy. I hate that for you, but the timeline gives side chick. She says that Darius never posted this woman on social media. Okay. She says the woman even said that they weren't in a relationship. The woman also said on social media, keep her name out of your mouth and stop talking about her on this show. He's got 2 kids with this woman. This woman will forever be in your life, no matter if you marry this man or not. She will forever be in his life. But she's willing to be Andy Cohen's side chick. That is something a side chick would say, right, Mia? Look, right, Mia? Mia. That is something a side chick would say. I'd be your side chick, Andy Cohen. I'll be your side chick. said someone that was never like, I don't, okay. Fine. I still enjoy seeing Jazzy. I want to give Jazzy another shot, I think. Do we want to give Jazzy another shot? Mind you, how would you feel if you got all gussied up, all dressed up for, like, I don't know if she was even out there an hour. I don't know the timeline of everything because we're watching an edited show, but I was out there for 45 minutes and then I got dressed up and I left. Right? Got all dressed up with nowhere to go. And she looked great. Okay. So before Jazzy is scurried away, they talk about G&A and what's going on with G&A. At first, we get an update in regards to Ashley and her divorce. So Ashley says that she's finally filed for divorce. It's in the hands of the state of Virginia. Both her and Michael have signed their stuff. They flash back to how many reunions. Mind you, when he asked her, like, I'm going to ask you something. She's like, oh, about Josh? And she's like, no, about your divorce. Because they've been asking about her divorce for multiple seasons. Okay? So she says that's in the hands of the state of Virginia. As we know, that's been all finalized now. She's a divorced woman. So Ashley, though, only gets child support, but no alimony. So why did we drag out this divorce? Because that's what she said. That's what her prenup said. So if we were going to follow the prenup, so what exactly took us this long to get to this place? What were we negotiating? Was it the house? Is the house in your name? Is that what it was? That he's going to pay for the house because of the kids, or he'll be paying for the house until they're 18? I mean, I probably would have asked more questions because that would have been my first question. So why exactly did we take so long to settle this divorce if you still ended up with no alimony? Was it the custody agreement? It seemed as if Michael's okay with you having the kids full time. I did not see that Michael was not going to pay child support. Okay. Stacey says her situation is completely opposite. She's getting alimony, but no child support. But we talked about that endlessly. For those that are, they were like, wait, why is she not getting child support? Because her baby's father, her ex-husband, he doesn't need to be told when and where to pay for his daughter. Okay. And again, if he starts to lack in that department, she can always take him to court. She can't take him back to court for alimony. Okay. Anyways, Mia, they asked Mia about her divorce. She's like, we're in the final stages. The entire group is like, are you? They don't believe that she's in the final stages. They're like, because there's more going on with Mia, apparently offline, that they know about. And they're just like, are you in the final stages? Like, we're in the final stages of divorce. We're just waiting on the judge to sign off. None of the women believe her. Their reaction was quite interesting. What else is quite interesting is that G&A, we still have no idea what exactly it is. They've gotten out of apparel, but they're not a nonprofit. So Ashley says, we are a liaison. We're like more community outreach. I said, what in the charade is going on right now? Spring, summer, fall? She by someone else? What is happening? So it's not a nonprofit. It's community outreach. They are a liaison between the community and a charity. So here's the thing. Ashley says that the reason why they decided not to continue with their business, profit-making business, is because of the divorce that she was going through. But when you launched this business, you were going through a divorce. You didn't launch this business before your divorce. You were already in the middle of your divorce. So why would you, and you already knew your financial situation. I think that you guys decided, oh, we're on a reality show. Let's start a business and da-da-da-da. Please wrap it up. Everyone send a check directly to the charity and wrap up G&A because don't nobody care. Exactly. CC says gangsters and alcohol. That's exactly what that is. Wrap it up. What a waste of time. It was a storyline. That's what it is. Lord. That's exactly what it was. Guys, if you're just joining us, this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion for season 9. It's been 9 seasons of this stuff, okay? If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We have almost 2,500 over 2,500 because we have like 300 of you watching on Twitch and Twitter. Let me say thank you. We had a few super chats. Thank you, Mama Allie. Mama Allie says 1.8 thousand of you need to like the video now. I agree. Thank you. Shout out to our King's Guards holding us down in the live chat. We appreciate them. Unique, thank you so much for the super chat. Unique says, all the ladies' dresses were cute, but Dr. Wendy's look was amazing. Yes, Dr. Wendy. I just want to support the channel. Talk to you later, Kemp. Thank you, Unique. I appreciate that. Yeah, I did love Dr. Wendy's look. Dr. Wendy's look. I love her hair. I just like the energy that she was bringing during the reunion too. She definitely looks great. I love the dress, the leg she's showing. She looks great. Her and Stacey. I don't really love Stacey's hair, but I love her dress. Yeah, the hair just looks like a wig, and I don't love that. Miss Sharon, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Sharon says that man isn't going to marry Jassi. What do you know, Miss Sharon? What do you know, our sportsnista? Keith, thank you so. Keith, I gotta give you a shimmy because you sent so many super chats. Keith, thank you for the super chat. Keith says, "Look, we all have a price, and Andy's net worth is my price." Keith, are you a black man? Because then you might be his type too.
How you doing?
Here come Keith again. Thank you, Keith, for the super chat. Keith says, why would her divorce interrupt G&A? I doubt Michael wants those $5 profits. Well, no, she was saying that her finances, she wasn't sure that she would be able to invest in a business. That's what she said. I still call BS on that. Okay. All right. Moving along. If you're a member of the channel, I am going to drop the call-in link on the community tab because it's almost 2 o'clock here in New York City. A windy day here in New York City. And I'm just like, whew. I'm going to drop the call-in link on the post tab for our Royal Court, senior royals, all the members. It's not a part of the membership, but I'm going to do it right now. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. And don't forget, you can hear our live recaps and special episodes like the one that we just dropped last night with our friends over at Bravo We're Black, available on the Kempire podcast right now. So be sure to check that out. Let me get a little sip of my water. Oh gosh. Rin the Friend on Twitch says, Taurus women are next level delusional. Example, Teresa Alexia. Taurus women get her. I can't speak for Taurus women. Well, Candy, I don't feel like Candy's delusional. I always go back to Candy when we talk about Tauruses on reality television. She's the only one that at least represents us in a decent way. Everyone else, there's such a... Look, Kim Zolciak, delusional. I mean, you got, Rin, you got a thing going. You got points. Points have been made. Okay. All right. So before Jazzy ends up leaving, Ashley messy boots. I can appreciate it though, because we would have never known about this. So Ashley says, Jazzy, before you go, mind you, Jazzy was out there for a hot 45 seconds, got dressed up with nowhere to go. Sorry, Jazzy, I gotta say it. These are my thoughts. All dressed up with nowhere to go. At least you looked cute and you brought your invitation. And before she left the stage, you know, Andy was like, well, Jazzy, we're going to let you go. And Jazzy, it felt like you were doing an interview. She's like, you know, I got along with everyone. Everyone was fantastic. I could definitely see myself at this company next season. I think I would be amazing. I like Jazzy though, but I don't like when people are desperate and come across a little desperate. But I like Jazzy. I think we should give her another shot. But Jazzy, because I know you watch. Hey, girl. Y'all gonna say that Leo Moon be cutting to Kempire and his ego. They do. Okay, and production. Using up my voice in the damn trailer. Okay. Anyways, Jazzy, next season, just be your fabulous self. I want to know about the family vineyard. Don't talk about the baby's mama anymore. We know that he's got those 2 babies. We don't care. We care about the babies, but we don't care about figuring out the timeline, okay? Let's figure out your relationship. Let's not talk about being a side chick or anything like that. You're not the side chick anymore, girl. You were the side chick before, but you're not the side chick anymore. You got the ring. Okay, the ring didn't mean a thing. No, play it. Okay, so before Jazzy goes, Ashley's messy boot says, so Jazzy, before you go, what happened with Mia's birthday in Miami? Here she go producing. So this is when we find out, apparently Mia invited Jazzy and Stacey to Miami for her birthday. Stacey landed in Miami and didn't hear from Mia. Stacey says that she didn't hear from Mia. Mia's like, I text you. This is 2025. I text you. She's like, I did not hear from you. Then she's like, well, Mia tries to explain. She's like, well, my POC. I had my POC, my point of contact. I didn't know what POC was. Sorry. Person of color? Stacey was confused. She's like, what is a POC? She's just like, my point of contact. Oh, I thought it was like your parole officer. Stacey is so I'm about to say unintelligent. No, I don't mean that. Just unintentionally funny. When she said parole officer, I was like, well, it wouldn't be too far from believable when talking about Mia. So there's this big story about this trip. So apparently she invited Stacey and Jazzy to her birthday party, and Mia was disappeared and ghosted them because they weren't able to make the yacht portion of the party, but they went to the dinner. And Mia was an hour late. Hear me out. At first, I was like, well, an hour late, it's rude. I get it. But no, it really is rude because it's a dinner. Okay? It's a dinner, so it's a sit down, and she was an hour late for that. Only for us to find out, Jazzy, because Ashley is asking the right questions. Where was Jacqueline in all this? Because Jacqueline was there. Jacqueline hasn't come out yet. She was like, Jacqueline said that Mia was too busy thinking about ink. I thought they broke up. Her birthday was in December. I thought they broke up. But Mia was too concerned about ink and what was going on with ink to be concerned about Stacey and Jazzy. Well, Stacey provides her proof, her text message with Mia to Andy, because Mia kept on saying, you RSVP'd with my POC, my parole officer. No. My point of contact. You RSVP. So Andy reads the text message, and clearly Mia was the one inviting, and because this is your phone, this is your text message. And how do you have a point of contact? How are you having any of this stuff? Her money's funny. Where is this money coming from? Anyone else want to have that question? Where's the money coming from? Yes, the family situation is being resolved, but they're supposedly selling off the businesses. But where? Anyways. So Andy reads the text message. The text message proves that Stacey was 100% correct, that Mia ended up ghosting them. And her last text message to Stacey was like, where are you guys? And they actually have the timeline of everything. And Stacey responds and says, like, she didn't appreciate it. She flew from the DMV to Miami. It's not like she just went somewhere in the DMV, like down the street, or coming to the Kempire After Dark live experience. Sidebar, the Kempire After Dark live experience is happening this Friday in New York City. If you haven't gotten your tickets already, what are you doing? There's also a live stream option for that show as well. More information on that will be available in the description. Mia was wrong. Mia starts a boo-hooing. Poor Mia. But Dr. Wendy Yoda was like, Mia, I hate to be this person, but I when your back is up against the wall, here come the tears. And this is something that we've seen throughout the season. Because everyone is just like, you're lying. She was definitely caught in another lie. Here's the thing. I'm going to give Mia grace. I think the Mia that we're seeing is not just because she's feeling the heat from the reunion and the other women. We have to remember she's feeling the heat from social media and commentary and everyone talking about her this season. Yes, we've been calling her a Mia be lying. However, she's been getting it from all different directions in regards to the Gordon stuff, the mental health stuff, the ink stuff. She's been getting it everywhere. Okay. So I'm looking at this situation as, her reaction right now is all about everything. It's not just them coming at her. It's about everything that's happening even outside of the show on social media. Okay. Mods, how many likes should we have in order to drop the calling link? Let me know in the live chat. So she gets emotional. Okay. Wendy calls her out. Don't blame her. Then they take a break. Mia goes to Stacey's room. Mia says, I just didn't have the capacity to be a good friend. Sidebar, Ashley says, I've known you to be a good friend. Really? Ashley, do tell. Didn't anyone go like, Mia's actually a good friend? I would have never thought that Mia was a good friend. I know we don't know these women, but based off of what we've seen on the show, I would have never said, that Mia girl seems like a good friend. So I was like, oh, she's a good friend? Them saying that she's not a good friend and that she's ghosting them, that to me tracks. So she goes, I don't have the capacity. She's backstage talking to Stacey and Jazzy. I don't have the capacity to be a good friend right now. I appreciate Stacey saying, you crying right now, it feels like it's because we're calling you out and it doesn't feel genuine. And she doesn't even, she's just like, okay. And she comes out and she's just like, I can't. She's like, I'm leaving. I can't take it anymore. She doesn't leave yet. Remember, my tea, allegedly, I don't know. Tea doesn't always come true, but based off the foreshadowing, doesn't seem like Mia stays the entire reunion, does it? Go back and watch the tea that we spilled in regards to Stacey and Mia. I see the Stacey portion of that is gaining traction. However, we also told you in the long form video that it seems as if Mia doesn't stay for the entire reunion. And you remember in the trailer, Andy Cohen speaks to her backstage. He's like, it seems like you're having a shame cycle. What's that, Andy? Is that something you know about? I've never heard of a shame cycle. Anyone else? It seems like a shame spiral. I've never heard of that. This is the first. What's a shame? I mean, context clues, but I'm sort of like, is that a thing? Apparently. And I think what Mia's going through, like I said before, it's not with the women. I think the women are the cherry on top. It's what she's been dealing with on social media. And look, you're probably saying, Kempire, do you have empathy for Mia? I do, because I'm a human being with a heart. I can't say the same for Mia, but I do feel for her because I can understand being on this platform. It's not easy. As someone that puts himself out there all the time, and y'all try to drag me. No, y'all don't. I don't read it. Y'all fight, especially y'all on Twitter. Hey, Twitter. Y'all, the minute I see a video getting a lot of comments or anything I posted on Twitter, the minute I see it getting a lot of comments, and it could be all good comments, I'm like, mute conversation. Y'all are fighting in an empty room by yourself. Fool. But I feel for her because I have a heart. I empathize because I understand putting yourself out there, be it a lie or truth, mostly lies. I feel for her. Alex said, Alex, cute picture. I know I say this probably every time you post a comment. Alex says Jazzy's trying too hard. Yeah, that's what it was giving. Hey, R Bless, thank you. A shame spiral is when you a shame spiral is when all your underdrawers is exposed. I don't know. I am. What is this? Is that Guyanese? I don't know what flag that is, and made that up because Mia be lying. Come on, come on. Yes. Aaliyah says it's shaming yourself because you've been exposed. Oh, see, Blanche says Kempire. That's why I no longer have social media. Unfortunately, for my work is social media. Okay. Foxy, what do I need to add? You need to add that to your soundboard, Kempire. Which one? What did I say? I can't remember the things I say, y'all. Damn, Coco says you have a heart for a liar. She's still a human being. Okay, I'm done defending Mia be lying. All right, I'm done. Okay, because y'all don't have a heart. Lexi says that is the guy needs to like. See, look at me. Nisa says you are a better human than me, Kempire, because I don't feel bad for her. I don't really like the term feel bad for someone, but I empathize for her because I can imagine how much she's been getting it on social media. Doesn't mean that she shouldn't be. Velda says, violins, you know what? Y'all ain't right. Okay, let's move on because that's how part 1 of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion ends. Okay? I've been talking for over an hour and 11 minutes. Make a wish. Yeah. All right. So we have our members backstage that have opinions and thoughts. I believe Foxy says that we need to get to 1,300 likes. That seems a little much, but we're almost at 1,000 likes. How about we get to 1,200 likes? And I will drop the call-in link for our live chat. Okay? See, Jarrell said, thank you, Jarrell. Jarrell says, I feel you, Kempire. You have a heart. A heart. Okay. All right. Let me put up my disclaimer. The opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, our sponsors. Everything that they say is alleged. Okay? And it's for entertainment purposes only. Okay. Let me take a sip. Callers, please respect the timer so that we're able to get to everyone. Members, I posted the call-in link on the post tab here on YouTube. Live chat, once we get to 1,200 likes, I will drop the call-in link for you guys. Tari, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Tari says, did anyone else notice Kiarna's facial expressions when Jazzy was speaking? I felt like there was some sort of jealousy or tension there. I did notice that, Tari. I did pay attention to that. I was sort of like, that's interesting. But I didn't read too much into it. But that was interesting. Look, based off of what we saw from Jazzy at the end of the season and during the reunion, that would have been my face too. Like, girl. Leonardo, thank you so much for the super chat. Leonardo says, Mia sent Stacey and Jassi to the Fire Festival. Imagine sitting for an hour without the host at a restaurant. Yeah, when I found out it was a dinner, I was like, this is for an hour. And you took a whole flight. Giselle's like, you should get reimbursed for your flight. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. But that's what I would have done for my friend if I did that to them. But I wouldn't have done that to them. Bernice, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Bernice says, Kempire, about them Taurus women. You know why you can use Candy for comparison to the other women? What is the only difference between Candy and those other women? Ooh, just saying. Oh, good point. I didn't even notice. Thank you, Bernie. And also, we have to move differently because of that. Just saying. Cece, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Cece says Mia was giving Bryn with the tears. I definitely can see Mia being as dangerous as a Bryn, to be honest. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Shimmy. Sorry. Mia gets caught up in the rapture of love and lies, baby. Sorry. And that's on Anita Baker. Anita Baker got me blocked too. All right. Live chat, we're almost at 1,200 likes. Keep liking the video. Once we get there, I will drop the call link for the general audience. If we don't get there, it's fine. That means I can go and watch Married to Medicine and be right on time for our Married to Medicine recap. Okay. But our members are backstage ready and willing to share their thoughts on the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 9 Reunion Part 1. Replay crew, I love you guys too. Replay crew, please understand. We appreciate you guys. If anything, more people watch in the replay than they do live. Understandable. We're all busy. Got things to do. Some of you, if you're part of the replay crew normally, but you're here live because you're off, let us know in the live chat. But shout out to the replay crew. Be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on our recap, the reunion, and don't forget to like the video and don't forget to subscribe. Okay? KJ says, what you do to Anita Baker? Do you really have to ask that after Anita Baker dragged Babyface? I did nothing. It's all Anita Baker. Anyways, I hope people realize that I don't care if I'm blocked. How does that change my life if you blocked me? Nothing. I think it's funny. We make jokes about it here. Hee hee. All right, Toya's backstage. We're going to bring Toya up first. Hold on. Toya, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
I'm good. I thought this reunion was pretty good, better than some of the episodes this season.
Mm.
I think Jassie was fighting for her life, but she did a better job than look at the Rebecca Minkoff situation when she came out at the reunion. That how awkward that was. I think Jassie, she showed her reason for coming back next season. I'd love to see a wedding. I don't like to see new people coming in and out all the time.
Yeah.
That gets really stale. So at least Jassie has a bona fide storyline that would be pretty nice to follow. Wendy did her thing. I'm happy for Wendy. I hope Stacey isn't doing a happy Stacey line. I mean, that's weird.
Yeah.
But Karen, she took no accountability. She pretty much tried to use the excuse of, I took an antidepressant, so I'm suffering from depression, and I took a pill, and then I had a drink.
You caught that?
Like she's trying to go with that excuse. And if it may have worked had she started the season with that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But she's still not really taking accountability. So, all right. Thanks, Kempire. Have a good one.
You too, Toya. All right. Let's bring up Hayad. Hold on. Hayad, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I got to listen to this live while I was shoveling. Oh, of that.
Because you're in Toronto?
Yes, it's so bad, Kempire. I've been shoveling back-to-back days. I'm tired.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't miss the days of shoveling.
I'm like, I need to get back to condo living. But anyways, Kempire, this reunion was really good, but I still believe the best reunion will always be Monique with the
Binder.
Yes, that changed the game for a lot of people. I feel bad for Wendy. I also caught that camera look when she thought she was gonna get called out in the beginning. And I just felt like it was all of her thoughts about Karen were coming alive for her in that moment. And she started to make an opinion on everything. And I'm honestly with Wendy on this. I would never trust anything that came out of Giselle's mouth about anybody, to be very frank.
Yeah.
And Giselle, you only have yourself to point at for that. And finally about Ashley, can we be done with her? She's so annoying. She's honestly so irritating. Nobody wants to talk about your new man. You want to know if you're divorcing Golem, that's about it. And then you can carry on off the seat. Because Stacey is here to stay with her pageantry acting. I love it.
You know what?
What did you? Oh, sorry. Anyways, have a great day, Kempire.
You too. Take care, Hayad. All right, we have Winter backstage. We're gonna bring Winter up next. Winter, what's going on?
Hi, Kemp. How you
Hey.
doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. So, what was disturbing to me was Stacy's wig. Where's the part? Like, I don't know what's going on, but she needs like a real good stylist, a black stylist. Like, it's just not working. And then
She
I
has
was
a
looking
black
at me.
stylist.
Okay, but then he's not doing the job right. I need to see a part. That hairpiece gotta go. So Mia, her hair was disturbing too. Like I didn't like the back, and like I was just like, well, let's see it in action. Then I saw it, I was like, oh, even hideous. even more. And then Kiana's boobs, like, does that dress fit? The boobs look like a nip, like she was about to have a nip slip. Like I was just like, she looked like she can't breathe. Like that was bothering me. Now, I don't like Wendy. I kind of felt bad for her. I'm glad that she kind of seemed more confident and was like, yeah, I'm that girl when I walk in the room. But like you said, over the last few seasons, she wasn't always sure about herself. Like I felt like she would always take the back seat and kind of dim her light for the Green Eye Bandits when
Mm,
she's always been that boss. Like
mm-hmm.
you need to just really step into it.
Yeah.
And Jassy, I didn't like her the way she came in, like kissing Andy's butt. Even Andy doesn't like it. When you notice
Yeah.
he doesn't like thirsty housewives, you can tell from his facial expression
He's
and
used to
her doing
that.
that. Like, yeah, I'll be your side chick. Like, girl, don't do that. Don't do that because that's an easy way not to get like a full-time position. And then the wedding invitation, we didn't need you to bring that. That was like a little thirsty.
Yeah.
That's all. All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
Winter. Bye. All right. I mean, it's true. Guys, we're almost at 1,100 likes. Let's get to 1,200, and we will drop the call-in link for our live chat, but we have quite a few members that are waiting patiently behind the scenes. Niza says, Kempire, did you ask Anita Baker to be on time, and that's why she blocked you? No, she blocked me a long time ago. I don't know what I said, to be honest with you. It could have been that, but I never asked her to be on time because I never went to an Anita Baker concert. Just saying. Butterfly, thank you so much for the super chat. Butterfly says, I stopped watching this show a few seasons ago, but I do enjoy your commentary. Thank you. I appreciate that, Butterfly Vital. All right. Keith talks. Keith talks. You've sent a lot of super chats tonight, today. I am not mad, but damn. He says, Mia started crying because she only prepared her speech for the DNA questions, not Miami. This is true. She didn't expect that this was going to come up. And yeah, I am black. Hey, Andrew. I would ask you another question, but that would be inappropriate. That is more for Kempire After Dark, happening this Friday in New York City. Go get your tickets. We'll be at the Green Room 42. There's also a live stream option as well for those that can't make it because you live in another city or another country. All that information will be available in the description. Not that Amber, thank you so much for the super chat. Not that Amber says, I thought Mia needs to lie about, I think that Mia needs to lie about her life to be on the show. Nope. She lies because that's who she is. She can't help it. That's what you're saying. Probably. And it probably stems from her, look, here we go. Her childhood. Paprika, thank you so much for the super chat. How do I call in? I got some opinions. Well, encourage people to like the video. Once we get to 1,200 likes, I will drop the call-in link for the general audience. But if you're a member, we've already dropped the call-in link on the post tab. Okay? Thank you for asking, and thank you so much for the super chat. And shout out to those of you that have already liked the video. We appreciate it. I know it's not fair to you, but I don't know why I have to beg people, 2,500 people, to like a video that you've been here watching for an hour and a half. Okay. All right. We've got Dewan backstage. We're going to bring Dewan up next. Dewan doesn't like when I call him by his government, but that's how I got introduced to you, Dewan. What's going
It
on?
just cracks me up, but I hope and praying I can see you this weekend. My birthday is tomorrow. I'm turning 28. Shout out to the Aquarius one last time.
Yes. Happy
But let me
birthday.
just say that. Thank you so much. Let me just say this. Y'all can tweet, talk, whatever y'all want. Tell y'all blue in the face. That's my mama, and I'm not gonna let y'all talk about Karen Huger like this. Okay? Don't come for Karen. Talk jail is preposterous. That's insane. Did she make a mistake? And should she be terribly apologetic and sorry? Absolutely. But jail is ridiculous. And let me say this, when Shannon and all of them white women do the same exact thing, where's that energy for them?
Is
I
this
mean,
their
this
third
woman
or fourth
crashed.
DUI?
She crashed into a house with a dog in a car. And I ain't see her slayed like this. I love Karen. She's still the Grande Dame. I want to see her come back and hopefully, redeem herself. And the thing with Wendy, that was strange to me. The entire that's shocking to me though, to find out that Karen might be on some snake stuff behind the scene. I am concerned about that. Looking forward to the next part of this series as well. Though. But this has been good. This has been good. See you later.
Okay. Thanks, Dewan. All right. And happy birthday to anyone celebrating a birthday. Happy Aquarius season. Pisces season's right around the corner. Good luck, Pisces, with me this season. No, shout out to all the Pisces. All right, let's get to some more callers, guys. We're almost at 1,200 likes. I'll drop the call-in link in just a second, but we have quite a few members still behind the scenes, like DeLon. DeLon, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you
Oh, well,
today?
how are you?
I'm doing well. I just want to say to the previous caller, Karen Clankety Clank, she needs to go sit down. Clankety Clank. The bottle of Stella, you might want to help your mother. Isn't that what she said about Michael? Clock it. Okay, now I want to say into the show. This is one of the best first parts of the reunion I've seen in a long time because, with the first parts of the reunion, it's really boring.
Hmm.
But this one was good from start to finish. I want to say that Wendy deserves so much better because Karen is not a good friend. And like I said earlier, my hands are clean of Karen Jefferson Huger. She needs to go away. Um, Stacy's dress was not cute up close. It was
Oh.
looking like a seashell bracelet you make at the beach, up close. And her hair was leaning, no shade. And Ashley needed Karen to be at this reunion because Ashley was doing so much talk about Karen during the press and all of that, and that was gonna save her job. Ashley needs to go. And that's all I got. Have a good day.
You too. Thanks a lot. Oh my goodness. Cinnamon says that Shannon took accountability, unlike Karen. Yeah, she definitely took a lot more accountability. I think also people, because of the dislike of Alexis and Jansen, also helped Shannon. But we also have to keep in mind too, Shannon wasn't facing action. She had already pled guilty, and she had an appeal, not an appeal. She already had a plea, so her situation was already done. She just had to go through the ramifications of that. So that's, I think, over here we're holding everyone accountable. It doesn't matter what color you are. If you were driving drunk, you should be punished for it. And again, if this is your third or fourth DUI, if this was her first, then I'd be like, okay, a lot of people don't get jail time for their first. But if this is really allegedly her third or fourth, I don't know what to do. Jess, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support as well. Guys, don't forget you can support just by liking today's video. I know I keep saying it, but there's a reason. When you like our video, other content creators that talk about hot topics like we do, or talk about Real Housewives of Potomac, or talk about reality television, or do dating lives, you missed it. You missed it. We had a dating live on Valentine's Day. Those kind of content creators will start to show up on your Explore page. People that look like me will start to show up on your Explorer page, okay? So be sure to like the video. All right, Ivan, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, I gotta give you a shimmy, Ivan. Woo, shimmy for the dollars. Ivan says, caught alive, yay, and I love Karen so much, but delusion can only take you so far. And in her case, it's potentially taking her to jail. Ivan, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat and the shade. Super chat and shade. Love it. All right, live chat. We hit over 1,200 likes. We appreciate the support, and we appreciate all 2,500 of you, over 2,700 of you, almost 2,800 of you watching our recap of Real Housewives of Potomac. Again, we will be live at 4 p.m. Eastern for our recap of Married to Medicine. Got thoughts there. But anyways, let me drop the call-in link for our live chat. All right. We've got Amina backstage. I'm going to bring Amina up next. Amina, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. I'm really enjoying the live chat. It's been so funny.
Thank you.
On Karen, I think her apology was it just gave me the ick. I just felt like I had like a weird face on when she was talking. It just made me cringe. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was genuine. And I thought the fact that she took the time in her supposedly sincere apology to slight Wendy, that was an intentional slight.
Yes.
The fact that she did that just showed me truly who Karen is. And I think in that moment, I don't know if Karen is jealous of Wendy all the time, but I think in that particular moment, she was jealous of Wendy because the fact is, Wendy is the most respectable member of that cast, and
Mm,
Karen has lost her respectability. So I
mm,
think she was trying to take one last dig at Wendy, and it just put me off of Karen complete. That was, for me, that was the final nail in the coffin. Like, I've had enough of like, it's not worth it for me. And
no.
I'm happy for Wendy to have a season doing nothing. People are criticizing her, but we've watched this woman be bullied, be assaulted, be harassed, be discriminated against for seasons and seasons. She deserves at least 3 good seasons of doing nothing but looking cute and being happy and still getting a good check.
Yeah. Oh,
And that's all.
yes, Amina. Thank you so much. All right. Let me just address some of these comments that I caught. Janita says, "Do I want to see Karen in jail? No. But I also didn't want to see Karen get into an accident and saying that she was Thomas Jefferson's concubine either." Yeah. Um, hold on. Doo-doo. Angelique says, black folks, excuse me, are obsessed with punishment, especially of black women. Karen needs help, not prison. Alcoholism is a disease. Yes, you're correct. However, she could easily say, I went and did rehab and then do this again and then kill someone. Angelique, by your notion that this can be perpetuated. So, at what particular point does she actually reap the ramifications of her actions? It seems as if they've been sort of like patting her on the hand these last few DUIs. And I wonder how you would feel about that. Just asking. How would you feel about that? If it was someone that you loved that was hit because she was drinking and driving. I'm sure there are plenty of people that have experienced that. We've had people call in throughout the season that have experienced the ramifications of someone driving drunk. Anyways, Judgy Justice is backstage. We're going to bring Judgy Justice up next. Hey, Judgy Justice. You're muted, Judgy Justice.
Hey, I'm sorry, I had to find the right tab. So, so for me, I don't really appreciate Karen Huger's Roseanne Barr, explanation of it all. It was just not not the best. And she should go to jail. In Montgomery County, they do put people in jail for one-time offenses. I've had people that I know that have gone to jail for 3 to 6 months off the first time that they were found guilty off of this. So, and anybody saying that we shouldn't punish her or this or that, she is a 60-year-old woman. She knows better. This isn't a 22-year-old person that may have just gotten out of hand. She's 60 something years old. She should know better. Second of all, Wendy, I hope this is a good lesson in to believe people the first time they show you who they are. Uh, Karen showed you she did not like you. She played like she didn't even know you. I don't know why you kept trying to fight for her in hopes that she would win her, but that's not going to be the case. Also, you should check out on TikTok. There was a little commentary from Cocoa Butter where Wendy was on there and she shaded Stacey's wigs and how it kept sliding and sliding and sliding during the reunion. Uh, I just tagged you in it, Kempire. And then also Jazzy. If you're gonna bring your wedding invitations, don't just bring one. Bring them all and just give them all out. It didn't make sense. Was the budget not giving? Bye.
Judgy she was holding out because she said if that contract isn't given, she ain't giving no one an invitation. Just saying. Thanks, Judgy Justice.
You're welcome.
Bye. So is that why backstage when you see at the end of this episode, you see Mia go to Stacey and Stacey's getting her hair done again. And I was like, oh, look at Stacey making sure she looks great. Oh, was her wig falling? Oh. I've met Stacey up close and personal. Beautiful woman. She's beautiful. Statuesque, gorgeous. Okay. Anyways. All right. Let's get to some of these super chats, and then we're going to get to our call as backstage is full. So I will not be dropping the call-in link again. Paulette, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Please accept my please accept my moon. Oh, wait, is that a moon or what is that? Is that a coin? You always put on a great show. Is that a coin? I can't even tell, Paulette. But thank you so much for the super chat. You always put on a great show. Thank you so much, Paulette. We appreciate you. Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. Ali says, lock Karen up. My cousin was killed by a drunk driver. It was the driver's fourth offense. Do you see it? Like, we've seen so many people call in or comment similar things. Nick says, "Hi Kempire, maybe wrong timing, but is New York City's live stream only a one-time thing, or we can or we can play when we have time to watch? Can't come in person, but also can't watch it then either. You're great, Mama Ali." Foxy, you guys have watched the live stream for our New York City show from the last one. Can you chime in on this and respond to Nick Knack, and also let me know, because I know I asked this before. I think you might have a time limit. I don't think you necessarily have to watch it then, but I think you have to watch it within a certain period of time. Asari reminds us that Candy's brother, remember Patrick, Riley, was killed by a drunk driver. Lord. I wonder how she feels about this whole Karen stuff. Angie, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Angie. She says, "I don't want to sound mean, but I think she needs to hit rock bottom to realize she needs to change. And I think maybe jail is what she needs because she's not showing accountability." Agreed, Angie. And I do think that this is rock bottom for her. And I think if they just slap her on the wrist, we're going to see another situation like this. And then let's not even get into whether or not she should return for another season, because I think what we saw in the body cam footage of Karen Huger is the hype around her being on this show. Bringing her back, putting her on this show, on this pedestal, I feel as if it's going to just add to that. All right. O'Shea's backstage. We're going to bring O'Shea up next. O'Shea, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, thanks. I actually also had the same live stream question because it's like too late over here. But I'm sure I'll find out before Friday. I just want to say one thing with regards to the Wendy Karen situation. I hope Wendy has learned the lesson to stop waiting to see which direction the fans are going to go in before going into the season. Because she, not just her, she and the rest of the cast came in the beginning of the season hand-holding Karen, leaving her to do what she wants to do. No one asked a single question except, I forget, Mia's friend later on, but the rest of them just left her to do what she wants to do. And then now when the footage came out, now they all want to act surprised. We needed to see the footage, but they know that Karen has had this problem. Gizelle has been saying this for years. Charisse has been saying this for years. They know about these issues. So this cast has a tendency to wait for post the reunion, see what the temperature is, and then go into, and then whichever side they're going to be on. They need to authentically go in, hold people accountable, and actually have an interesting season.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have a situation where Mia would fill up the space if they all had stuff going on. Perhaps there have been other storylines this season, and we had nothing, and Mia filled up the gap, which is not defense for her, but that is my defense for her. But thanks.
Okay, thanks, O'Shea. Take care. In regards to O'Shea's question as well, thank you, Foxy, and thank you, Mama Ali. She says you can buy a live stream ticket to Kemp's show February 21st in New York City, but you have to buy the ticket before the live show. The link to the live stream is in the gray box under the YouTube video. But I will reach out to the venue just to verify the details, also to verify the details of when the meet and greet will be. But you know me, after my live show, I'll meet and greet with you whenever, even after the show. That's the one time Kempire is out for the night. Okay, that's it. I ain't going anywhere after the show. Okay. All right, let's get to Lee's backstage. We're gonna bring Lee up next. Lee, what's going on? What did you want to share?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just at work doing my nails. But so I really just wanted to talk about Karen and the video that they presented for her. And in the video, she said that the next time that she comes back, maybe she'll be Karen instead of the Grande Dame. But in the video, she was the Grande Dame. So it's like, I want to believe Karen. I do, because obviously I don't want to think that anybody has malice, but it's just very hard. This is her umpteenth DUI. This is a very serious thing. She's not 17. She knows the repercussions of doing something like this. My grandpa is very Southern. He always says a hard head makes for a soft ass, meaning if you don't listen and learn the first few times, then you will see the repercussions. And unfortunately, jail has to be it. She has to take this serious because, like you said, she could have hurt herself. She could have hurt somebody else. She could have destroyed lives.
Yeah.
This is very serious. So yeah, she has to, pay the time. And then second, I wouldn't even cross the street for Mia. I'm not going to Miami for her either. So those that was on Stassi and JC and Stacy. Don't do that again.
Oh, damn. Okay. Thanks, Lee. Bye.
All right, talk soon.
Lee said she wouldn't even cross the street for me. I mean, when you put it like that, would you fly all the way down to Miami for Mia? I don't know if I would either. All right. Jen's backstage. We're going to bring Jen up next. Jen, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Hi. Oh my God. Love you. I have to tell you every time I come on.
Thank you.
So, Kempire, I just wanted to bring up one thing.
Okay.
So the last time I think I was on your After Dark, that there was a young lady who came on who made you speed down the video of Karen
Oh,
speaking to
yes.
Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So on that video, they say that what it was like Karen was talking and she was like Ray was talking to her and she was saying that she wasn't the one driving.
Yeah.
So I'm just like I hear what everybody else is saying in
Mhm.
regards to she did the drunk driving. And in fact, if she did, yeah, she should face the repercussions for her actions.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering if the judge and everybody else really slowed down and heard that she wasn't the one, or she really gonna die on this hill if she wasn't the one that was driving for real.
Well, that really falls on Karen. If that was the case, Karen should have said, I wasn't the one driving. She has not said that.
I know. So that leaves such a big question, because it's like, was she or wasn't she? Like what was happening back there? I wish we could actually see the case live so we can determine whether, if it was true or not.
Mm. Valid points, Jen. We appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. Have
Take
a good
care.
one.
You too. I mean, yeah, we did do a separate video because someone called in and says, pay attention to what she says in the video. However, we don't have actual proof that that's what happened in regards to there being another driver. They will talk about that, I believe, based off of what we've seen, that Ashley brings it up that there's a rumor that there was someone else in the car. She didn't say that, though. That was not part of her defense. All right, Tutu's backstage. We're going to bring Tutu up next. Tutu, what did you want to share about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion?
Bonsoir, Kempire. Do you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. I just wanted to say about Karen, she can drink as much as she wants, but as soon as she gets behind the wheel, she becomes a loaded weapon for the people. That's the issue. She can drink if she wants. And she's a coward. That's why she ignored Wendy, because she didn't want to take accountability for what she said about her. Wendy's MVP of everything, the season, the look, the reunion. I love her. Gizelle looked the best I have ever seen looked in years. So that's great. And Mia be lying again and again and again. I don't know why she was crying, because seconds before that, it was like, so what is the problem? So what is she crying for now? Stacey clocked her. She keeps lying over the dumbest things, over nothing. She could have just said, I'm sorry, this was shitty. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Tutu.
So I just wanted to say that. Sorry, the French comment.
No
and
problem.
Bisous, bisous. Bonne soirée.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye. All right. Yes. Okay, French. All right. Kiki's backstage. We're going to bring Kiki up next. Kiki, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Potomac's reunion?
Hi, Kempire. My phone is probably about to die. I hope it doesn't, but yeah, my battery is running low. But I don't know. Karen is not a humble person, and for me in life, there are two things that are important: empathy and humility. And in that video, she completely lacked humility. I really felt slighted for what's her name, Wendy. I really felt bad watching that video, because I'm like, she literally did not even give any, she just paid dust to Wendy, and this woman stood by her. But now, being a Nigerian, I really, really love the part that Wendy was like, listen, when it comes to the trust fund and all of that, you have to learn the language, you have to get a master's or one of the things, because
I'm a Nigerian, although I'm probably one of the few people you'll meet because I'm a northerner. I'm Hausa Fulani, so we don't have that many of us. But I know that my dad made it a point that we had to get education. Like, we all had to, at the barest minimum, have our masters. And that makes me very proud that she's trying to instill that in her kids, whether it's through the masters or making sure they understand the language, because I always want my family and my kids to be very deep rooted in their culture. So I love that for her family. So yeah, that's it. And I'm not at work today, unlike yesterday. So yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kiki.
All right.
Have a good one. Bye. And the phone held up. Right. All right. The Heathers is backstage. The Heathers, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
So Karen could have pled out. She
Yeah.
could have, and she chose not to. She chose to take herself to court. So I think with her multiple DUIs under her belt, and based on what the legalese correspondents have said, she'll probably face some type of jail time, whether that is house arrest or her actually going to jail. We'll see what happens now that they pushed out her sentencing date because she changed her lawyers and everything else. I mean, it's another tactic that she's using to delay. I mean, honestly, she should have went to some type of rehab or some type of like she could have done weekends where they locked her up in a hotel and she done a program that way, and that would have given the judge reason to give her a lightened sentence. But she is just postponing everything. And I think even her in the video saying that she's not an alcoholic, let's be clear. I mean, obviously there's a problem. So there's zero accountability with her, and she lacks humility, just like the other caller said. So we can have empathy for everyone, but sometimes it's hard to have empathy for people who keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Thank you
That's
so
all.
much for calling in.
Thank you.
Take care. All right. Ruthie's backstage. We're going to bring Ruthie up next. Ruthie, what did you want to share about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you so much. I just love when I catch your lives, but I agree wholeheartedly with the last caller. It's just the fact that Karen, you're going through so much right now, and you still took the opportunity to be shady. That lets me know that you're anticipating your return. You're trying to set up your storyline for your next season, and I just think it's gross. I think that you could have very well killed somebody else. You could have killed yourself, and you need to take accountability for that. Plain and simple. And it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to kill you if you sit in it. And until she sits in it, we're going to see this, unfortunately, again. And it sucks. And I hope, Wendy, I don't knock anybody's process. If her process is to get to know someone first and figure out who they are, so be it. But I want her to stand on business next season, honey. Do not let nobody play in your face. No. And you hold Karen's feet to the fire, because that was completely unnecessary.
Yeah. Ruthie, thank you so much for calling in.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Whew. All right. Jamie's backstage. We're going to bring Jamie up as well. Hold on. Jamie, what's going on? What did you want to share?
Hello, Kempire. Peace and blessings. Happy to see you.
You too.
I really appreciate the Kempire family. I have zero compassion for Karen. I'm bringing here, she needs all the smoke. I lost a cousin right there in Maryland off University Boulevard in Montgomery County to a drunk driver. So I have zero tolerance for anyone who decides to get behind the wheel after drinking. Clearly, Karen has a problem, and I think we give grace to people who are older. Karen is older than my own mother. So I always try to give elders grace, but not her, not today. She has had the most pretentious, pompous attitude on this cast. And for seasons, I didn't realize she was such a snake. She's a serpent. She's a villain. And the way that she has done Wendy, it is unacceptable. But in a way, it's good. Wendy needs to see this. And if she comes back next season as a pick-me for these friends, I'm done with Wendy. But Karen needs to be on some community service, cleaning up the streets of DC, Virginia, wherever, on the 495. No excuses. She is older than most of us, if not all of us. And there's no tolerance. She has a superiority complex. She thinks so highly of herself. So yeah, bring her back next season because she's gonna need the money. We know she doesn't really have the funds. Come back next season so we can offer you the smoke. Humble Huger, not Grande Dame of anything. That's it.
Thanks.
Love you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Bye.
Bye. Look, we've had a lot of people that have called in that have lost loved ones to drunk drivers. So am I supposed to be mad at Jamie for feeling the way she feels? She feels that way because she's experienced a person not reaping the consequences of their actions, subsequently taking the life of her own loved one. All right, let me get to these last couple of callers because I gotta go because, as you know, we'll be live again at 4 p.m. Eastern for our Married to Medicine recap. All right, lots to say, lots to unpack. I already watched it. I need to watch the last 20 minutes again because there's a lot of stuff. If you're not paying attention, you might miss. Okay? All right, Fernando's backstage. We're gonna bring Fernando up next. Fernando, what did you want to share about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion? Fernando, you're muted. Fernando, we're gonna have to drop you out, Fernando. Sorry, Fernando. We'll get back to you. Keith Talks, Andy Cohen's future boyfriend, is backstage. Hey, Keith.
Hey, Kempire. Hey.
Thank you for all the super chats.
Yeah. Yes. So actually, I sent you auto super chat because I thought I was actually still a member, but I changed my card a few months ago. So you can consider that back pay, okay?
Oh. Thank you.
Now, first of all, this reunion, honestly, got me hotter than a prostitute at 3 a.m. Okay, like I was just fed up. Because first of all, Gizelle, as a fellow Virgo, I can let you know right now, Gizelle is fake and phony. You ain't going to get anything real from her, okay? She ain't nothing changed about Gizelle other than her necklace, okay? Like, there is nothing that you're going to get from Gizelle. Mia, we can pass her, okay? She's a liar, we know that. But Wendy, I love her. I think she should really stay on this show. And I agree with her about the whole situation about putting it in her children, that they have to get an education in order to get their inheritance. My family did the same thing. I have absolutely no problem with that because I think in order for them to really get the great concept of money and being able to earn their value, they have to actually work for it. So I have no problem with that. And now as for Stacey, great addition. Definitely think she needs to stay. And yeah, that's really it, actually. Oh, and also one more thing. I will be at the after hour show on Friday. So I can't wait to see you. And yeah, thank you. And have a good one.
Thank you so much, Keith. And look, Keith got a trust fund. Okay, Andy.
Okay, so I'm not looking for you solely for your money, but it's a plus.
Oh,
okay?
Excuse
Especially
me.
your net worth. It's a plus.
Okay. All right, Keith. See you Friday.
See you Friday.
Okay, let me bring up. Wait, Fernando's back. Hold on, Fernando, what's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I think this reunion was one of the best looking reunions that they've had so far throughout all their seasons. Every lady looked good. Every lady looked gorgeous. I do agree that Karen does need to get some type of repercussion because I feel like her ego and the way that she conducted herself got broken. That night that she got that DUI, the true turn came out, and I do agree with one of the callers that is one of the reasons why she postponed the court and everything, because she knew that if she would have taken a plea deal, she would have went into this season with everyone on her back like they were. But because she postponed the court, then she had no choice but to defend herself. And without any verdict or anything. So now, coming to this year, she's going to go into the new season if she comes back, and it's going to be all over the same thing. So I do agree that she could have took a verdict way back when to get it over with and to deal with it like Shannon did, but she did not. So I do believe that Karen's crown is cracking just a little bit, but I believe that she is. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fernando. All right. Look, he said Karen's crown is cracking. I think her crown is cracked at this particular point. All right, Sierra's backstage. We're going to bring Sierra up next. Sierra, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I'm still cracking up from Keith because that was really the seats that are prostitute at 3 a.m. I had a few things. The two main things I'm going to touch on is Jazzy and then Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
If it quacks like a side chick, if it looks like a side chick, it's a side chick. Who wants to be with a man that has two young children under the age of 3? She's questionable. I want to see her back, but she's questionable. I'm sorry, it's weird. Wendy, as a person who has also pledged a sorority, Wendy has that vibe still, like she's back in college and going through that process. And she 100% is a pick me. I know what you go through. It's a whole thing. And I think when she came on the show, she wanted to be with the Green Eye Bandits. We all remember this. They didn't really want her. I actually think Gizelle really admires Wendy, but she just can't stand Wendy's attitude. And I think when everything went down, Karen wanted to kind of play neutral and not be seen as a colorist, but she's never cared for Wendy, and I want better for Wendy. And that's it.
Thank you, Tiara. Take care.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. She said, if it quacks like a side chick. Come on. You thought I didn't get that? I was like, oh, not quacks like a side chick. All right. Nerdy Black Hottie is backstage. These names.
Hi, Kempire. Can you
What's
hear me?
going on? Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, first time caller. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I have a lot of opinions about Potomac because my folks are from DMV, but I'm from the South. So my issue with this entire cast, when everybody had so much to say about Wendy, arguably Wendy is the most accomplished person on that cast. That's what used to really piss me off when they would say she's not Potomac. She technically is more Potomac because if anybody knows anything about the DMV area, a lot of people do lead with their accomplishments. She's Dr. Wendy. Her kids have a trust fund. I mean, I'm pretty sure this check helped. But her and Eddie, they have the money. Like, I don't understand what the jealousy is with the cast. Because to me, it always reads as jealousy. Karen, I love Karen now, but she needs to face her consequences. She is way too cocky. And while it's okay to be cocky, I think that's why she doesn't like Wendy a lot of times, because she sees that cockiness in Wendy, and Wendy has the accomplishments to back it up. Mia, I can't stand Mia and that fake wail that she loves to do the second that she closes the door with that mic still on, and we know that mic is hot. Jassi, she can kind of go, I'm over the side chick thing. She has so much other stuff she could talk about, but I don't want to hear nothing about you being a side chick to a Cowboys player. Kierna, that's all I pretty much had to say, and I had high hopes for her. But thank you, Kempire.
Thanks, Nerdy Black Hottie. Oh, damn. Not the Dallas Cowboys getting it at the same time. But y'all told me when we talked about the Dallas Cowboys, y'all said they weren't good anymore. Okay. All right. We're going to bring up AJ next. AJ, what is going on?
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Okay, so this season was actually amazing. I think Stacey is a great addition to the show. I hope she's not lying and really rented that man. That would be sad because I really like her. As for Wendy, she is everything. She is a star. She was killing it with the looks, the parties, everything. She is definitely not a pick-me girl. I think in the very beginning, she was just trying to genuinely get to know everyone. And, with that, you can be met with, different personalities. Gizelle, she was trying to get to know them. I feel she was giving them a fair chance. I'm happy they made up because I was getting sick of the whole tired colorist storyline going back and forth. It ruined the last season. But all in all, Karen, I'm disappointed in her. She was my favorite until the way she did my girl Wendy. Wendy did not deserve that. She has been riding for her the whole time. And Kay, I feel like she need to open her eyes because Wendy was the one who brought her on the show. So she needs to be loyal to her, in my opinion, because Karen is just faulty. But anyway, yes, you have a wonderful Monday.
You too.
And thank you for your time.
Thanks, AJ. Take care. I just want to remind you guys too. I know we believe that when housewives are brought onto the show that they're actually connected to the person that's bringing them on. A lot of times they're really not. And a lot of times they're not really that close. So just keep that in mind when we're connecting. I mean, I do believe that there's a friendship between Wendy and Kiarna, which I feel like we saw more in the reunion than we've seen all season. But I mean, I kind of want to see more of that. if anything. But I'm not sure if I really want to see Kiana back next season. I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. All right. Last but definitely not least, Miss Sharon's here to defend the Cowboys.
No, I'm not. You got the wrong Culpepper.
Ow. Okay, Miss Sharon, what did you want to talk about?
I just want to know, did Karen really go to rehab or did she go to a beach? Have you seen the photos of her on a beach?
When?
I've seen it on Facebook. I've seen it on, I think I've seen it somewhere on YouTube.
I haven't seen it.
She was in her beach attire and she broke a nail and she didn't have a wig on and no makeup on.
No wig?
No wig, a hat. So I'm wondering, did she go to rehab or did she go to an island?
Very good question.
Yeah. Hey, and don't get on Gizelle too much. She did give Wendy that dress.
From Vivian's store?
Yes. I'll give her a for that.
Okay. A dress over colorism. Okay. Right, Miss Sharon. Thank you so much for calling in. Take care. Bye. All right. Guys, I want to say thank you to everyone that called in. It's always great to get your perspectives because I'm open to listening to people's perspectives. Doesn't mean I have to agree. You don't have to agree with me, but I always feel like you can call into the channel and know that this is a safe space to share your opinion, as long as that it's not racist, derogatory, homophobic, colorist. As long as it's not that, okay? It's still a safe space. You don't have to agree with me. You could hate the reunion. You could love the reunion. You could love Gizelle. You can hate Gizelle. It's okay, but I always remind you, we don't know these people. We've never met these people. We probably will never meet these people. I can't say the same. I've met some of them, including Karen, who I had a really great experience with. I thought she was lovely. I met Gizelle. I can't say the experience was the same. I can't say that Gizelle was terrible, but I thought it was interesting. Okay? But I've also met Stacey. I thought Stacey was lovely as well. I've never met Wendy, but Wendy's been like feet away from me. Seem nice. Look, seem nice. Who else have I met on this cast? Never met Mia. Who else is on this cast? Never met Jazzy. I saw she follows me. I have never met officially Ashley, but Ashley stomped in front of me at a fashion show. Anyways, I will see you guys at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. PST for our recap of Married to Medicine. So stay tuned for that. Thank you to the almost 1,400 of you that have liked our video on YouTube. Thank you to those of you that have liked the video on our TikTok. Shout out to our TikTok fam watching from behind the scenes. Thank you to those of you that watched, that liked the video on Facebook. Those of you watching on Twitch and Twitter, we see you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. So many of our members were in the building, sent super chats, all of that. We appreciate that. Speaking of super chats, let me say thank you because we had a few backstage here. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, a lesson brought is a lesson taught. Oh, okay. Wise Virgo. Miss Bernice, thank you so much for the super chat. She says that she still needs help, another driver or not. Good point. Bernice, thank you for another super chat. Bernice says that's why Gizelle and Karen bump heads so much, because they are one in the same. Damn. Voiceovers by Stephanie Marie. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Thank you. L. Singleton, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. L. Singleton says, question, normally an alcoholic's family is the first to know that they have a drinking problem. Do you think Mr. Ray should bear any responsibility for allowing Karen's behavior to continue? That is a very good question. But at the same time, yes, he might have known that she's had an issue. But what can you do with a grown adult? What can you do? I don't know. Bears responsibility, but at the same time, she's an adult. Nazza, thank you so much for the super chat. Nazza says, for those that are saying that people just want to break down Karen, even if Karen were to go to jail after this, she would still have to answer to the fans and her castmates. Yeah. I mean, look, this is why I say be team no one, because at the end of the day, when you're team no one, you can hold everyone accountable. You don't know these people. You might be a Karen. Look, we like Karen. We've loved Karen on the show. So some people were like, oh my God, why are you so hard on Karen? Because I hear people like Jamie call in and talk about how they lost someone because of someone like Karen. That's why we're hard on her. Because she's lucky that it wasn't that. Because we'd be talking about something completely else. Okay? Cheryl says, when it comes to Mia, I think when Carlos, in my Kempire voice, gassed her up in that little interview saying, I'm paraphrasing, she's the face of Potomac, is freaking insane. Maybe it went to her head. Maybe it did. I wouldn't be surprised. Anyways, guys, speaking of Carlos, if you missed it, we did do a recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville yesterday, but we also did a special documentary. It wasn't a documentary. It was a live show that we did with Taria Faizan from the What Else Is Going On podcast, where we broke down all of the accusations that people have had against Carlos recently and over the years. Be sure to check out that video if you missed it. Shout out again to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. And for our Kempire After Dark live experience, there are tickets still available for our New York City show. I will see you New York City in person this Friday with the Brooke Ashley. And don't forget, there is a live stream option available as well. More information on all of that and our sponsor for today, Factor Meals, will be available in the description. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. See you at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. PST.
Here we go now. Here we go.